Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari So we're reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, text 64. Usually we have it on the screen. Yeah, it's there. I don't know, it's on the screen. You know how to do the screen? You know how to do it? You can sit on this side. Bhagavad Gita passes over here. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, chapter 18, text 64. Sarva Guyatmanam Bhuya. You want to repeat? Sinu me paramam vacha isato asi me didya iti tato vakshyami te hitam sarva guyatmanam bhuya sinu me paramam vacha Isto simi didam iti tato vakshami te hitam sarva guyatmanam bhuya sinu me paramam vacha isito sime didam iti tato vakshami te hitam. Anyone want to try? You want to try? You want to do it? We follow? Okay. Okay. You want to try? Okay. I'll go for word then. Sarva Guyatma Thammam, the most confidential of all. Bhuya, again. Shinu, just here. Me, from me. Paramam, the supreme. Vacha, instruction. Ishta asi, you are dear. Me, to me. Didam, very. Iti, thus. Tata, therefore. Vakshami, I am speaking. Te, for your. Hitam, benefit. Translation and proper by Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Because you are my very dear friend, I am speaking to you my supreme instruction, the most confidential knowledge of all. Hear this from me, for it is for your benefit. You can repeat after me. Because you are my very dear friend, I am speaking to you my supreme instruction, the most confidential knowledge of all. Hear this from me, for it is for your benefit. Srila Prabhupada's purport. The Lord has given Arjuna knowledge that is confidential knowledge of Brahman, and still more confidential knowledge of Super Soul within everyone's heart. And now he is giving the most confidential part of knowledge, just surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. At the end of the 9th chapter, he has said, Manu Mana, just always think of me. The same instruction is repeated here to stress the essence of the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. This essence is not understood by common man, but by one who is actually very dear to Krishna, a pure devotee of Krishna. This is the most important instruction in all Vedic literature. What Krishna is saying in this connection is most essential part of knowledge, and it should be carried out not only by Arjuna but by all living entities. Om Agyanti Mandasya Gana Gana Salakaya Chaksu Militamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitamena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapdantikam. So, the difference between the Krishna consciousness movement and other faiths is that we are following the line of disciplic succession of spiritual masters. Those who are committed to the line of following the line of disciplic succession, they will understand things properly according to what Krishna's plan is. Although Srila Prabhupada stressed about distribution of his books, we give courses, we do, but unless one commits to the line of accepting the line of spiritual masters, to go deep into this science will take a long time. In general, people don't take the material energy very seriously. They think we have been born into this world, we just carry on where the life is leading us. We don't have to go against anything. But they don't understand that human form of life, you got this opportunity to come out of the material world. You can actually connect to Krishna and go back to Godhead. So, In the time of Srila Prabhupada, when he started spreading the Krishna conscious movement, he had to face many obstacles. And he has to face many leaders in society. They had something about understanding of Krishna, but they didn't accept Krishna as the Supreme Lord. So the example is there of Indira Gandhi, how I was reading Giriraj Swami's book on how he built the temple in Juhu. And in there, one other book I read, but he was explaining in one of his books how the devotees met in Indira Gandhi, they actually met her. And they were trying to involve her in the programs of Krishna conscious activities. But she was avoiding the program. She wasn't getting involved in the programs. She was getting others to come, but she wasn't coming herself. And being a leader in the political world, she got influenced negatively. And Prabhupada comments how her two sons died very soon after. They had plane crash and she got killed by one of her own men. Because they made offenses in Vrindavan by injecting the residents, some of the Babajis in Vrindavan. So it shows how if we don't take the line of teaching of what devotees are telling us, how the material energy will direct us differently. This is Maya's, shows you how powerful Maya is, how she's Krishna's police agent. So if we are, Prabhupada explains, if we are there to try and disturb Krishna, then she has two potencies, the covering potency and throwing potency. And if we are trying to serve Krishna, then she will test us, but she will allow us to serve Krishna. So so we can see even these big leaders, they could not assist Srila Prabhupada in a big way because they had different motivations. But she did one good thing. She allowed visas for devotees in India. So that she allowed that. So she got some benefit. But it just shows you the power of material energy, how she covers the jiva up. You get bewildered. And the other one is Mahatma Gandhi, how Prabhupada said in his Giriraj Swami's book, he explained how Mahatma Gandhi was trying to unite Muslims and Hindus together. He wanted simply village life with industry. And but he didn't accept Krishna. He said Krishna is an imagination. Although he used Bhagavad Gita as book of non-violence, but he got killed by violence. His own men killed him. So these are the examples to show how even big leaders get bewildered about who is Krishna. Because in order to oppose Krishna, one has to take association of saintly people or brahmanas. And it says at all times there are 4 manifestations of the Lord directly manifested in this world. The Ganga, the Vaishnavas, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Tulsi. These are 4 direct manifestations of the Lord at all times manifest in this world. The deity you have to install for it to be more manifest, but these are direct manifestations. So, the jiva cannot... Hare Krishna. It's on, right? Okay. Yeah, so the jiva, he cannot, he can only blame himself because he's not open for mercy. But in order to open for that mercy, in the Jeva Dharma it explains, in order to increase that mercy, to connect to the purity, one has to do agata sukriti, spiritual piety. So example is given like going to on places of pilgrimage, getting shelter of advanced devotees, doing temple services, participating in festivals like Sunday is Lord Nrsimha's appearance day. We have many festivals coming in like this, so you come for those festivals. They're like mother of devotion. And then in this way we gain purity. Where it's in a nectar of devotion, generally the mercy comes through the Vaishnavas and the spiritual master. But sometimes Krishna can give direct mercy also. Because Krishna wants us to come back to him. He's very eager for us to reciprocate with him. He wants us not to suffer in this world. So the material world is so complicated that things can get very messy sometimes. And the way things happen, how it should happen, may not happen. Like even on the journey of spiritual life, sometimes things may not work out the way it should work out sometimes because of circumstances. So this is where Krishna comes in. Krishna can adjust things very quickly. He can make adjustments. So Krishna is very compassionate like that. That he's not like in the Christianity they say either you go to hell or heaven, right? He's not like that. He's very compassionate. He wants everyone to come back to him. And Prabhupada in one of his letters he explains how even the whole material world is part of Krishna's creation. The whole is part of his kingdom. But then there's certain jivas who want to enjoy independently from him. So he allows them to enjoy. But at the end of the time, but he also wants them to come back to him. So he doesn't want anyone to remain in the material world. So that's why the material world is made in such a way as to make you realize this is not your home. The Prabhupada said in one of the lectures, he said, even if you want to be miserable here, you'll be kicked out. You cannot stay. Krishna is teaching you, this is not your home. You belong with me, he's saying, come back to me. So so how does Krishna reciprocate? Let's see. So this will be a little insight. This is a book by Gauranga Darshan Das. He's on secrets of bhakti. So he gives some insight. He says, it was almost evening when Krishna, Balram and the cowherd boys went to tour the splendid city of Mathura. Krishna was born in Mathura, but his father Vasudeva had quickly taken him to Gokul to protect him from wicked King Kamsa, his maternal uncle. Since then, Krishna had lived in Vraja with Yasoda and Nandan Maharaj, the cows and cowherd boys and girls, and all the residents. Now Krishna had come to Mathura on Kamsa's invitation. On arriving at the outskirts of Mathura, he had taken permission from Nandan Maharaj to enter the city with Balram and other cowherd boys. Yes, so initially Krishna gives residence to the residents of Mathura. They see him. And then Krishna meets this washerman. Apparently this washerman, according to Chaitanya Bhagavad, had done millions of lives of piety to gain this qualification of seeing Krishna directly. But he was serving the Kamsa. And because of bad association, when Krishna did come to him, he could not appreciate Krishna. He was criticizing Krishna, saying that you're just cowherd boys, what do you know anything better, why are you taking the king's property, you should be punished. So Krishna with his fingertips cut his head off. So also it mentions in the Garga Samhita that this washerman, he's the one who criticized Sita coming back to Ram because she was caught by Ravana at some point. And he criticized that how can Lord Ram have Sita with her when she's contaminated? So for that reason, Lord Ram had to banish Sita. So that shows another lesson is that we should never make offense to Krishna. We'll get contaminated. All these stories, learning that it'll take a long time to get purified. Although Krishna is merciful, he did purify the purifying, but it took a long time. And then then there was a garland maker, and apparently he was offering 5,000 lotus flowers to Lord Shiva, and he wanted to have Krishna as his friend. The Lord Shiva blessed him. So then Krishna came to Mathura and then he blessed him. So so what happened 5,000 years ago, the same situation is there even now. We can have the same reciprocation with Krishna. Everything is the same. It's just times have changed. In the material world, time changes everything. But the reciprocation with Krishna is same all times. Krishna is living in his Vaikuntha bubble. He doesn't get affected by the material world. So if we learn to live in the present, we will not get affected by the material world. We don't think of the past or the future. We learn to live in the present. So Prabhupada explained this. He said, the preaching of Bhagavad Gita is not just understanding the knowledge aspect of it, but one has to chant the holy name. So by chanting Hare Krishna, then surrender to Krishna will come. It says in praise of Samavama Bhattacharya, who composed 100 prayers glorifying Lord Chaitanya, he says, if someone is doing their religious duties and they're doing it properly, but they're not considered that glorious. But if someone is not following religious principles and his behavior is not good, but he's chanting the holy name, he becomes glorious. The holy name brings you to the spiritual platform. So this is Lord Chaitanya's mercy. He said when King Hussain Shah, he was in Ram Keli, when Lord Chaitanya came to see Rupa and Sanatan Goswami, he came to see them when they were Dabi Kashk and Sakar Malik. They were from Brahman families, but then they became contaminated by serving Hussain Shah. So they were ostracized from society. So So they came to see Lord Chaitanya, and his King Hussain Shah, he was asking his secretary, he was asking, who is this sannyasi who's coming in? He's got thousands of followers behind him who are serving him. And this king said, I have to pay my servants to serve me, but he doesn't have to pay anyone, they're serving him. So he must be someone special. And one of the secretaries told this king, he said, he's just a monk living under different trees, he's no one special. But the king couldn't accept that. He said, no, he has to be special, because why are thousands of people following him? So then he asked Rupa Goswami. He said, Rupa Goswami told him, you're the king. He said, what's in your mind you accept? He's the same Allah who you worship, and he's the same Krishna who the Hindus worship. He's come to your kingdom, you're very fortunate. So the fact that the king, he was rebel, he used to break temples and cause harm to people. The fact that he accepted Lord Chaitanya, all these bad qualities turn into good qualities. On the other hand, if someone doesn't accept Lord Chaitanya, then all these good qualities turn into bad qualities. So we can see this happening in the modern day, 2025 coming in, like those who are open to accept Lord Chaitanya, you see they'll become very strong, they'll become forward and they'll carry on going to perfection. But those who don't accept, they will suffer in the material world. Because Lord Chaitanya, he's making the teachings very easy, accessible to everybody. And Srila Prabhupada, he made it in a way that everyone could accept it. So Lord Chaitanya, his approach was like what Srila Prabhupada said, that people take to chanting of the Hare Krishna, surrender to Krishna will come. So, taking to the chanting is very easy. It just requires little practice. And you have to be learn from the devotees who are practicing. Because Prabhupada says the main benefit behind the chanting, when you're chanting, you understand you're not the body. So Prabhupada emphasized on this in his classes, in his lectures. He said, spiritual life begins when you understand you're not the body. So you have to be with those who are understanding this point, about understanding you're not the body, your soul, and you're part and parcel of Krishna. So, unless the understanding comes in, surrender becomes difficult. Because in the material world, most people on the body platform. And we're living in Kali Yuga, which is a difficult time. And material energy is there also, which is strong. But at the same time, Lord Chaitanya's mercy says that by his mercy, the difficult things become very easy. And without his mercy, easy things become difficult. So although the difficulties are there in Kali Yuga, but at the same time, the good side is there. That if someone accepts Lord Chaitanya, then he says in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that to cross an ocean holding on a dog's tail is not possible. By Lord Chaitanya's mercy, one can do that. He can cross the ocean. That's how merciful Lord Chaitanya is. So, Prabhupada comments in 11th canto Bhagavatam, he says, if one accepts that he's not the body, and he's open for Lord Chaitanya's mercy, then he's guaranteed perfection. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita is given that if one accepts Lord Chaitanya as a spiritual master and Lord Jagannath as a supreme Lord, then perfection is guaranteed. So, because Lord Chaitanya is teaching us how to be a devotee of Krishna. And He's showing the way how we can remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. So, unfortunately, in the material world, there are people who always want to be cheaters and are cheated. That's the unfortunate thing in the material world. Wherever there is light, there is darkness. So the material world is like that. There's always some darkness. So, there are examples of people who do want to be cheated. And even if you try to show them a proper way, they won't accept. Like I heard in Mayapur, someone built a temple for one person thinking he's God, They built a temple for him. Just imagine Mayapur, Lord Chaitanya's birthplace, world headquarters. Someone built a temple for some person thinking he's Krishna, So the cheaters are always there, cheated and cheated. But being in a society of devotees, one gets the mercy. He's like, you're depending on mercy. You're like open for mercy. But in the outside world, you get entangled in karma. Because this is karma bhumi. The material world is full of karma. It's very entangling. And according to how open we are for surrender, then Krishna gives us a vision how to come towards Him. And in Srila Prabhupada's example, he showed how we should be careful dealing with people who are not open for mercy. So he met this person, Chinmayi Swami. In Srila Prabhupada's time, he was a big leader of some organization. He was an impersonalist. And Prabhupada had to interact with him. So Prabhupada gave him the proper message on how to promote the teaching of Bhagavad Gita by getting people to chant Hare Krishna and taking to the chanting. This will help one surrender to Krishna. This was Prabhupada's way of approach. But he wasn't so open to that. So Prabhupada would not listen to him. He would just turn away from him. But then later on it happened, because Prabhupada stayed in some life member's house in Mumbai. And the son used to go to this person, Chinmayi Swami. And he used to get arguments from an impersonal viewpoint and give it to Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada used to defeat all the arguments. And finally Prabhupada told his devotee, he said, can you ask this Chinmayi Swami, can you read everyone's mind? Can you read my mind? And he said, I can't read your mind. So then he said, I'm going to Swami Prabhupada then. So it shows how ultimately Prabhupada changed his vision also. And Prabhupada gave him a challenge. He told his devotee, I'm happy to challenge Chinmayi Swami if he's open for the challenge. And he backed down. Because Prabhupada was going to ask him, if you're Krishna, then can you lift Govardhan Hill? So he didn't want to face a challenge. So it shows when you're in touch with purity, the impurity goes out. And the other thing is we have to deal in devotional life is emotions. We should be purifying our emotions in touch with devotees and Krishna. Come to spiritual platform. Emotions are the ones which entangle us, pull us down in the material world. So, in order to purify emotions, we have to have good sadhana. So we have to, even if you're working outside, you may be able to follow temple standards, but then you have to adjust your lifestyle in such a way that you can rise in the early hours of the morning and get into chanting. You should learn the prayers of the acharyas, read Prabhupada's books, and then if you can chant 16 rounds immediately, it's the best. But if you can't, you build up to it. 2 rounds, increase every Ekadashi, 1 round. Every 2 months, increase like that. Increase, go up. Because in spiritual life, it's either you go up or you go down. It's like you're going on the ladder. You can't stay on the same spot all the time. You have to go up or down. So, so the spiritual life is easy for those who are serious and deep thinkers. For those who are not serious and deep thinkers, the spiritual life becomes difficult. It's like if someone wants to be a lawyer, he has to go to law college. He cannot just be a lawyer like that. So Krishna consciousness is also like that. It's like entering law college. But then Prabhupada said in one lecture, Krishna is so merciful that if you surrender to him, he'll put you in a position of a judge and he'll give you the qualifications. Now you can imagine, to be a judge, you have to go through so much study and qualification. It's not easy. But Krishna is so merciful that he'll put you in that position immediately. And he'll qualify you to be on that level. So, both things are required. It's not like one can just have Krishna and not have Guru. And one cannot just have Guru and not have Krishna. Both have to be there. Because if one just follows Krishna, then one can just become sahaja. He'll take things cheaply. If one just follows Guru, he becomes a Mayavadi. So both things have to be there, Guru and Krishna. So this is why we can see how the Krishna conscious movement is becoming stronger, growing more and more, because the purity is there. And Prabhupada said you can cheat some people sometimes, but you can't cheat all the people all the time. So at some point people will wake up and see what the real truth is. So Shri Radha Gokulanda ki jai. And Prabhupada also mentioned, this is in a conversation with Rameshwar. Rameshwar Prabhu asked Prabhupada the question, how will your movement spread in the future? And Prabhupada said, my books are out, and they'll be awakening people's consciousness, and they'll read my books. And they will look for devotees as leaders. They will not vote for politicians. And there was a quote by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He said, a time will come, even the judges, they will put Kuntimala and Tilak. So, for those times to manifest, there has to be a little cleansing, a little bit. So we can see the cleansing happening now. And people are waking up because they're reading Prabhupada's books. They're seeing there's some truth in these books. And what the leaders are doing, they're not helping them to practice what the books are saying. So, in times of the cleansing now, we have to become more spiritual, more internal, and less external. And if we do that, then whatever may happen will not disturb us, because we are living with Krishna. Because Krishna is always looking for that. He says, how much are we turning to him? He's just looking for that little keyhole on how much are we turning to him. And if we are turning to him, then he'll guide us. Because he's our well-wisher. He's our best well-wisher. And in everyday life we can feel His presence actually. We can, if we analyze deeply, we can see, because without His sanction we can't do anything. So Prabhupada gives an example. He said, I may want to punch you, but if my hand gets paralyzed, you can't do anything. Krishna is giving, if He takes the power away, you can't do anything. So it's something like that, that He's guiding us towards Him. But He's watching how much are we surrendering to Him. So this is the benefit of being part of the Krishna consciousness movement, that you're not on your own struggle here. You got others to help you to reach the goal. And Prabhupada said you can achieve Krishna, you can achieve perfection in 1 second, or you can take millions of lifetimes. So it's up to you how much are you ready to accept the process. And the process is open for everybody. This is the good thing about the human form of life. We have this opportunity to turn to Krishna. Animals can't do that. They go by instinct. Human beings go high intelligence. Any questions or comments? Hare Krishna. Okay.
We see that some of the animals, like cows or snakes, they are very spiritually awake as well, like sometimes they're more than human. Is it true? Or is it?
Well, the cows, they're in the mode of goodness. So if you're with the cows, then they can feel your feeling, they can help you overcome your difficulties. So Prabhupada said, if you're just with the cows, if you have affection for cows, then even if you don't make rapid spiritual advancement, you'll take birth as a Brahmana in next life. Brahmana is supposed to be mode of goodness, right? So, and the cows are very dear to Krishna. People do all these therapies, right, to get rid of all their problems, right? If they just spend time with the cows, all the difficulties will disappear. That's a defect of modern society, that they don't look after cows. So Krishna conscious movement is a challenge in modern society. It's giving them a challenge that you have to look after cows. So Prabhupada said, devotees should organize their farm projects now. He said this long time back. He said, you have to organize the farm projects. Because modern society breaks down. People will have nowhere to go. They'll turn to us. They'll run to our farms. So this is where devotees can preach about varnashram. People have different natures of doing different things. And gradually elevate people to spiritual perfection, like take to Krishna consciousness. So this is a time where you have to be thinking more about these things, because cities will not last forever. They'll break down at some point. So if you're part of a farm project like that, you won't be affected by the cities. And yeah. So I think we have something. I think Kalakant Prabhu came here last time. Many farmers came to his class, his GBC for Goshala projects. So he was promoting this. So you can contact him and be part of the project. Because if you're with cows, then modern society, they look after dogs more than cows, right? But the Prabhupada said that's a condemned society. It cannot go on for long. So, yeah. So you can find out more about it and be part of the project. Jai. Any other questions or comments? Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Bhagavad Gita ki jai. There's another class at 7:30 on Lord Nrsingadev. Jai. Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Story on Nrsimha Bhagwan, session for kids.
Yeah, it's going to happen at 7:30.
7:30, and how long it will go?
It goes until 9 o'clock.
Till 9 o'clock. Okay.
But the actual day is Sunday. The actual day of Nrsingadev is Sunday.
Okay. But it's happening today as well.
There is one devotee, Brajapati Harkava. He gives every year for 3 days on Nrsingadev.
Okay.
So he'll be giving, today is Friday, right? So
Yeah.
the last class is in today. Yeah.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Bhakta Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Raksha Mam.
Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Pahi Mam.
Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavangscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathannitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri शाखान्वितांश्च Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Bhajasi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu